are in listen-only mode.
Hi guys, so we are here to learn workflow. As in demo class, I have already explained to you what is workflow, why we need workflow, and what are the advantages behind it. Also, we discussed why this SAP workflow has come into picture, why SAP has designed workflow, how to automate the approval process, the manual approval process. So in workflow, as we know that we define everything in the system, and the rest the system takes care of sending the work items, the decision to the approvers, and the approvers in return take the actions, and then the mail step is sent to the creator or whoever you want to arrive. The particular mail step is sent to that person, and then he gets notified that the approval request which he has sent has got approved. So now today we will be discussing about is there anyone who have not attended the demo class, so that I can give overview on the same. Kindly raise the hand if anybody has not attended the demo class. Okay, fine, everybody has attended, so it will be good. I will be continuing further, and today I will be discussing on containers and bindings. So today we will be discussing about containers. Containers are nothing but the variables in the workflow that holds the value in the workflow. As let me compare it with ABAP or C, C++, Java. Whenever we write programs, we need some variables that will be storing the values within the program. So in that program we declare the variables, and whatever either we fetch the value from the database, or we just need the local variables. So what we do, we declare the variables of some type, and then after fetching the data, I just store that value in that variable. So in workflow also we have some variables, we have some elements which we declare in the container of particular workflow. So this, as we know that, suppose let me take one example. Suppose when material is or sales order is created, we need some material number or sales order number, so that I can at least process the further steps, and for processing the steps in the workflow I need the data. So where I will be storing that data, I need some variables within the workflow to store the data. So what I will be doing, I will be taking the help of the containers, because containers is provided by this workflow to store the data. So now we will be declaring the elements. These variables are called elements in the workflow. We will be declaring elements in the workflow of some particular type, and that element would be responsible for storing the data. Now we have 5 different kind of containers. First we have workflow container and task container, third method, fourth rule, and fifth event. So I will be going one by one, but about this rule and event, once I will discuss about agents, then I will be discussing about rule container, and once I discuss about event, I will be discussing about event container. But for today I will be discussing about workflow container, task container, and method container. So we have 5 different types of container. Now coming to binding. Binding is nothing but the exchange of data between two containers. So like we have elements in the workflow declared, and we have elements in the task declared. So what if suppose I want to flow the data from workflow to the task, then I will take the help of binding. I don't know whether you people are aware of WebDyn Pro or not. What we do actually in WebDyn in this workflow also, we just pass the data from one container to the another container with the help of binding. And this binding is actually done in binding editor. And also this workflow, what it does by default, it gives you the binding, but if you don't want, if you want to customize it, you can also customize it. So binding editor is given where we do the binding. Now coming to workflow container, the binding can be defined from the workflow to the event container, from workflow to the task, from workflow to the rule container. I will be showing you everything in practical, just making you familiar with the words, that the part and pieces of this workflow. So next, coming to the task container, we can do the binding from task to the workflow container, then from task to rule container, and from task to method container. Now coming to method container, we can do the binding from method to the task container. You can see here we have flowchart over here. We have one workflow container. So from workflow container, if I want to flow the data to the task container, then we flow the data from workflow to task, and then from task to method. We can't directly flow the data from workflow to the method. Rather, we have to go via task. So first we will be flowing the data from workflow to task, and then task to method. And about rest these two I will be discussing afterwards. Now I will be showing you in practical. Let's move our workflow builder. In demo, I have created one simple workflow, and there we were having one user decision step that is called which one got executed. We were receiving one work item in the inbox of the user, and when he took the action, then the mail step was sent. Now we will be creating flow. So you can see here one create button is there. Just click on that. Now let me tell you again, in left hand side we are having workflow information area. Here the workflow number gets generated automatically. In version, it shows me the current version in which it is. I will be discussing about version in more detail in further classes. And the status, now new and saved. Once I activate it, the status will be changed to activated. Now here I will be creating one user decision step. I'm just writing the text. As we know that whatever I write in this title, I will be receiving in the work item in the inbox of the user. Now in expression, I'm just selecting workflow initiator. This is a person who execute the workflow. So in agent section, whatever I define, the person whoever I define will be receiving this particular work item. So whenever this decision step gets executed, at runtime one work item is generated, and that work item gets appeared in the inbox of the user. So now here in expression, I'm just selecting myself as a person because I will be only executing the workflow. So here I will be receiving this work item. Now here in decision, I'm just writing two decisions, approve and reject. Just click on enter. I've created one user decision step. Now save it and activate. Here one pop-up comes to give the abbreviation. This abbreviation is nothing but the just a description given to the workflow. So through this description only you'll be able to recognize the workflow. So whenever you try to search the workflow through this description only, you can search, because the workflow template number doesn't get displayed while you search the workflow. Save it as a local object. You just activate it. Now you can see here one workflow number got generated. So now WS is the template number and the rest 979 is the prefix number which is being defined in SWU3. So in SWU3 we do the configuration required for the workflow. So this configuration also I will be showing in the last or last two previous class. And next, this 5-digit number is generated by the system. So now in status also you can see it is active and safe. In version, the default version comes out to be 000. So now in the steps area we can see we have created one step. That's the reason we are getting only one step over here. If you define more, then we will be getting more. Now coming to the workflow container, as we were trying to learn the container, so let us move on to the container. Here you can see in left hand side we are having one workflow container. When you see here, we are having some default elements. These are called elements. So these elements are by default provided by SAP. So you can see ad hoc objects, attach object, WF initiator, WF priority, WF group ID, work item. And see, these particular things are acted by SAP. But yes, we can define our custom elements too. So now what we will be doing, we will be just double clicking on it and I will be creating one element called sales order. Copy it here. The element name is given. So give the name as the same and the sales description. Now coming to the data type. As we know, whenever we declare any variable in the ABAP code or C, C++, we have to provide some type. It means that which type of value this particular variable or elements is going to store. So now what we will be doing, these three different data types are available in workflow. We can declare this element as in business object type, and or either we can give as an ABAP class, give a reference to the ABAP class, or we can either give reference to the business object type. This actually object type creates the instance of a particular class. So this sales order, if I declare here in BOR or ABAP class, then this sales order will refer to the type BOR or ABAP class. So for this BOR and ABAP class, we will be discussing in events when we start event. So for just for your more understanding, I'm just taking the WebLAN as a data type. Here you can just directly refer to the structure or either the data element. Now coming to the second one, here you can give the structure name and the particular field name. So these are the three types available to declare the data type. Now coming to the properties. In this property section, you can see one import, export, mandatory and multi-line are available. So in import and export, it is similar to what we have in function modules, in methods. It means that something you are importing, the value of sales order would as well as be imported, as well as it will be exported. So if I check both, then I can either export also, I can either import also. If you check this mandatory field, then this value should be provided from the outside program or outside calling program. So if you don't give the mandatory value, then the workflow will go into the error state. And here if you check this multi-line, this multi-line actually refers to the internal table. It means that, see, if I don't check it, then this sales order element will actually store only one value. And if I check this multi-line, then this sales order is going to store more than one value. So if there is a requirement that you need some values in a table, then you can just select this, and the which is present in the sales order will be more than one. I will be discussing about the usage of multi-line once I discuss agents. So I'm just making it as an import and export. Now in initial value, if you provide some initial value, this is called the default value. If you want to give some default value, you can just give it in initial value tab. In change data, actually it gives you all the information about who actually changed the date. In this initial value, it actually stores the default value, and in change data it gives you the information about who has changed this container element. Initial value, you can see in sales order, if I want to give something, I can give it, but now for timing I'm not giving it. Just click on enter. Now when you scroll down, you can see here one sales order element has got created. So this is particular custom element which I have created just now, and if you make it as import and export both, then you can see here two arrows are present. One is for import and one is for export. One element. Now this is, we have created one step. What I will be doing, I will be using the sales order in my step. As we know that in step, it actually refers to the task. So I have already told you this particular step actually refers to the task. So here you can see one task ID TS00008267. This task ID is actually given by SAP because this step is actually defined by SAP. So we cannot change this task. Rather, we can make one custom task and can tag that custom task over here. In just after a few minutes, I will be showing you more about it. I just want to show you first here how we will be using the sales order which we have created in workflow container. What I will be doing, I will be using in my step. Just to make it more dynamic, here if you give ampersand 1, if you give ampersand 2, something like that. So what will happen if whatever you declare in this parameter section, it will be getting dynamically populated over here. So in parameter section, once you click on it, FOL, you can see here it has given me the option to select the values dynamically from the container. So once I select the sales order, whatever value is present at runtime will get populated over here. So I have just given sales order as the value. So one sales order is being given. Now just activate it. So you can see here one message, workflow definition saved and activated successfully. Now what I will be doing, I will be executing this workflow. Now here you can see, once you test the workflow manually, you can see the elements are present over here, and you need to give the sales order number. Here I am giving it in a standalone workflow, but in real time we don't give it like this. Actually I will be showing you how you can give it this sales order number or material number or purchase order number from the program itself. Once the sales order is created, how to pass that to the workflow, I will be showing you that. But for now, I'm just showing you how to test the workflow in standalone, because whenever we will be developing one workflow, we will be first testing it, then only we can integrate it in the program. So how to test it, I'm just showing you. Suppose you provide some value and then click on execute. Just click on cross. Now I will be showing you through Business Workplace. Here you can see one button is present over here called Business Workplace. You can directly navigate through here, or else you can go to the transaction SBWP, and through there you can just execute or see the work item. So I'm just navigating directly from. It has taken me to the Business Workplace, that is called the inbox of the user. Now you can see in inbox we have workflow. You can see here whatever I have written in the text and in the user decision step, kindly approve my text, and the number which I have provided has got displayed over here. So the number was dynamic. I have tagged that sales order in a dynamic way, and that sales order has got passed over here. So you can see here the main to show you how to pass the workflow container to the step. So this is how passed. We have just binded the data, that sales order dynamically, and then the sales order is coming over here. Now I will show how you can actually create the task container and how you can create the method container. For that I will okay, if any questions I will take that. Yes.
Hi Lakshmi.
Yes, Venkat.
Yeah, I have one doubt. Like in the status, you can see different types of statuses. What are they? Like one flag is there in.
Okay, in Business Workplace only, or in the SWDD?
Yeah, yes. In Business Workplace only.
Okay. Let me just. These status I will be discussing about each status. Once it is in ready state, one completed state, the steps, the status of the work item. What is the status of the work item? Or one flag, or when you reserve your work item, how that changes. Let me go to that Business Workplace. Okay. Here you are asking about which one? Here?
Yes, correct. Statuses. Yeah.
It is means you have reserved this work item.
Flag is there. Okay.
Where is that flag? I'm just seeing this flag.
Yeah, I think in 5th place, like this one.
This one?
Create work item.
Yeah, I'm just showing you this one. This flag.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it means that you have reserved this work item. Once I will be discussing about the work item, I will be telling you what are the status. You can see here it is in a fully white box. It means it is in ready state. You haven't taken the action on this work item. So if you don't, it will be completely white. Once you just click on it, it will comes out to be half blue. It means it is in process. And if you double click on it and take the action, then the whole box will be in blue and the work item will get disappeared from the inbox of the user. Once I take the action approved, that particular work item will get disappear. And I will show you actually the process, the status symbol in SWIA. So you can see the work item has got disappeared, but once I move on to the SWIA, the log which I will be showing you for this workflow, there I will be showing you what are the status of the work item and how it looks like. So this flag is actually you have reserved this work item. Okay, here we have one button. If you want to resubmit, you can either resubmit also. If you want to reserve, you can reserve also. We have button over here: forward, resubmit, display, manage, or also replace. So I will be discussing one by one. Okay. Any other questions? Fine. Once I go to this status of the work item, I will be discussing everything. First, today I am just taking the topic as a container. Now coming to the this workflow for this, showing you how to pass this container elements from this workflow to the task and from task to the method. I need one table to be created. I hope you people know how to create the table. So I'm just quickly creating one table. Just click on create. Delivery classes A, I'm just creating. The purpose of creating the table is, here I will be creating one field and I will be saving the data from workflow to this table. I have created one table. Now I will activate it. Now activate. Now I have created one table. Now I will be creating one class also. I will be taking the help of the class because there I will be declaring the methods. So about this class, once I discuss about this class over, I will be discussing in detail, but just I'm taking the help of this class. I will be showing you how you can create the class and everything. Here I'm declaring one method called save underscore order. The purpose of this method will be saving the sales order. For this workflow, we need to declare one interface. About this interface, once I will discuss about ABAP class, I will be explaining everything about this interface. It will again take one class. So you can see if I attach this interface if underscore workflow with this particular task, then in methods you can see by default number of methods get populated here. And why we need this workflow, actually whenever you associate particular class, this particular class with the workflow, you need to define if underscore workflow in the interface section, because the workflow won't be able to recognize this class in the repository, because we have number of classes. So which class the workflow is going to use, it is very difficult to find out. So what it will be doing, it actually needs some interface which is called if underscore workflow, which we tag with this particular class. So there is some reason, also some more reason behind it, so I will be discussing about everything in the further classes. So I will be discussing about each method in the later classes. So I have created one method called save order. In the parameters section, I'm declaring one variable called weblen type weblen. I'm sorry. Make it as importing, because we'll be passing the weblen number from the workflow to the method, and then the method will be taking this particular value and will be saving it in the database. So this is what we will be doing. Just double click on it. Now in the method, I will be writing code, some few code. I'm just declaring one work area of type the table sales weblen is equal to weblen, and then I'm just modifying the database. So from this ls sales. So I have modified it. Now you can see here I have written the code just to insert the value which I'm receiving in the method into the database. So what it will do, if I suppose I have passed weblen as 1, 2, 3, it will just modify or save the database with the number. Now activate it. I have activated it. Now I will be using this particular method in the workflow. So we have designed our workflow. Now I will be just modifying it. You can see here one approve toolbar is coming over here. So what I just said, whenever the user approves that particular sales order, then that sales order should get saved in the database. So I will be creating one activity for it. In these steps also I will be discussing in more detail. So I have taken the help of this user decision step. Now I am taking the help of this activity. In this, actually, if you want to write some business process, as I have the business process which is saving the data in the database, so I have taken the help of method of the class. So for that method to be associated with the workflow, I need one activity. So whenever you want to define some method in the workflow, then you will have to take the activity as the step and then bind that to the activity. So in here, to create one task, create the task, give the abbreviation, here you can see the status is there. Modeled means you are just modeling, you're just building the task. Implemented means you have just completed the development, and released means it is now available to be used by the other programs, or also you can use yourself. Obsolete means it is no longer in use, and not defined means you have not yet released. Now comes out to be work item text. Whatever you see here, it actually gets displayed in the inbox of the user. Only if it is a dialog work item, then only it will get displayed in the inbox of the user. But it is our background process, because saving the data in the database is not the dialog one. Dialog means you need some kind of user interaction with that particular work item. So for saving the data, we don't need any kind of user interaction. So I will be making this as background processing. Once I make it as background processing, you won't be receiving this particular step in the inbox of the user. So whatever you write here, it will be displayed in the log. I will be showing you about that log also. I have saved the sales order, and I have taken the help of class. So in object category, we are having two options. One is business object type, and second one is ABAP class. So since I have created method in ABAP class, so I am taking the object category as ABAP class, and in object type I am writing the name of the class. So the name of the class was zwork4. And in the method, once you click F4, all the methods defined, all the custom methods defined in the this particular class will get available. So you need to first activate it and come out of the class. You will again have to refresh, because in the same session the method was created. Now copy this and again come to SWDD. Now here in approve, I will be creating again one activity step. Here I will be creating one task. Give name. Here the abbreviation is given. Make it as released. Give the name in the work item text. Now select the ABAP class in object category. Give the name of the class and the method. Okay, the name of the class is ztestwork5. Okay, it's there in workflow. Okay. I'm sorry, I have forgot to make it as a public, so that's the reason it's not able to recognize. You will again have to go back. If you make any changes in the session, then sometimes it doesn't recognize. So first you have to make the class ready, and then only you have to integrate it in the workflow. Create the task again. Once you click on F4, you can see it has proposed me this method, whatever I have declared in the class. So make it as background. So once you click on save, so it will ask for this binding. So just click on no, because I want to show you how you can do the binding. Now let me discuss about the synchronous. This synchronous means this particular step is not going to wait for nor even event nor anything. So whenever this step or whatever the logic or the code which you have written in the method, whenever it gets executed and when it encounters the last statement, it returns to the calling program. So in case of asynchronous, it will actually wait for event to trigger, and then only that particular step will get executed. So if you make it this synchronous, it means whenever this particular will get executed completely, it will return to this workflow self. So, and here confirm end of processing means it will actually ask for the confirmation. It will propose you one pop-up, and then there it will ask you for the confirmation to complete the work item, to complete this particular step. So if you check this, then it will explicitly ask you to read this particular step. So I'm not checking this. I will show you an example. If you check, then how that particular propose the one pop-up to complete the step. So I will be showing here. Sorry, later. So now you can see here in left corner we are having one symbol in green icon. Just click on it. Again click on no. This is actually asking for the default binding by the system, but you just click on no. I will be showing you how you can do manually. You can see here in left hand side we are having task container, and in the right side we are having method container. So as you know that we have in method we have created one importing parameter called WebLen, so it is showing here, but in task we haven't created any custom element, so it is not showing over here. So first what we will be doing, we will be creating one task container. So you can see here one tab is available. This tab is for this task. So we will be creating, here you can see one create button. We will be creating one element called sales order. We will be passing this from workflow to the task, and then from tasks to the method. We can't directly go the data from the workflow to the method, but we have to go it via task. Just I have created one element and this task in task container. You can see here it is both import and export. Just click on save. So in basic data, again going back, I will enter binding. This is how the binding is done. This is called binding editor, and here we will be doing the binding. You can, I have already told you in left box we are having task container, and in right area we are having method container, and in upper set we will be passing the value from the task to the method. You can see here arrow mark, we are passing the value from task to the method, and here in lower section we will be passing from method to the task. So suppose this method is something we want to return to the task, then we will be defining over here. We will be doing the binding over here. And if I want to pass some data from the task to method, I will be doing over here. So the requirement is to save the sales order that needs to be passed to the method. So I'm just dragging and dropping over here. The type should be same, else it will go into it will show you some syntax error. The type of the element should be same. So you can see here one button is present over here to check the binding. The message get displayed, no error found. You can see here no error found. In this generate button, if you click on it, the binding will be generated automatically. So what the system do, it actually checks the type, and if type comes out to be same, then it do the binding automatically. So now the binding is done. I will be clicking on enter and save it. So I have flowed the data from the task to the method through this binding. Now I will turn back. Again click on no, because it is asking for default binding. You can see here it is asking for default binding. Just click, just unselect everybody, deselect everybody, and then click on enter. Okay, fine. Now the binding is not done. You can see here one binding button present over here. So you can see here it is not in green status. So once I do the binding, it will turn into green status. The purpose of this binding is you have to flow the data from the workflow to the task. So inside, load the data from the task to the method, and from here outside I will be flowing from the workflow to the task. So in left area you can see workflow container is present. You can see workflow name, and here in area you can see the step. This is particular task container, and this is particular workflow container. So in the upper section I will be flowing the data from workflow to the task and task to the workflow. It is just nothing but the variables which you will be using inside the workflow to perform the business process. So now I will be just dragging and dropping here, and the purpose is I'm just flowing the data from the workflow to the task, and this particular sales order will actually get saved in the database. Now click on enter. we have done the binding, and you can see it has turned into green. Now on enter and activate it. It has got activated successfully. Now I will be executing it. I will be passing one sales order number in the workflow. I will be giving one sales order number in the workflow. Here you can see this is called workflow container. Whatever you are seeing here, it is workflow container. So I'm just giving the value over here and I'm just executing it. And the flow is, once you approve that particular sales order, then only that data will get saved in the database. So click on cross, it actually directly take you to the business workplace. So I will be moving on through this business workplace. Go to business workplace in workflow. You can see here whatever number I have provided in workflow container, it is coming over here. You can double click on it. So this particular number is coming how? From workflow to the step. Now if you click on any guesses what will happen if I click on approve? Any guesses? Whatever we have defined in the workflow, what will happen if I click on approve? No guesses? Once I have got the answer. Okay, fine. Let Rajesh also answer. Yes, Rajesh?
It will get updated in the Z table.
Okay, why it will get updated? What we have done?
Because the method will be triggered.
Okay, so we have just designed the workflow in the same manner. We have designed one step which will actually save the data in the database. And why it will say? Because I have designed just below that particular user decision step. So this I have defined in the branching or called approve. There only I have defined that step. So once I click on approve, so it will first get disappear from the inbox of the user. So it has got disappeared from the inbox of the user. So now let us see the database where it has saved or not. Let us check. I think the name was the same. Okay, some data is missing. Let us see the log. So how we will be debugging the workflow, I will be showing you. Go to SWIA transaction. There just execute it. I will be showing you why the data was not saved in the database. One blank record is getting saved. You can see here this is called the display log of the workflow. You can see here the particular work item text, whatever I have written in the background text, it is written at save sales order. This is background step, and the ID which is generated over here is system. It is unique ID and it is system generated. Whenever any tasks get executed, then that particular step at runtime generates one work item ID. So you can see here one work item ID is generated. Maybe either it is background job or dialog step, what ID actually gets generated. So now once you click on here, double click on it, go to the log, I'm just moving on to the technical log. In detail about this log, I will be discussing again in next section. So click on this particular table icon, and then press Ctrl P. The caps lock should be off. You can see it has taken me to the technical log. So here you can see the process, the step. Since this step has got completed successfully, so that's the reason this is coming out to be fully blue. And in the left hand side we can see the container elements, and in the leftmost we can see the agent. You can see here in agents, since LKDIA was the agent, so I have already executed it, so that's the reason it is not showing. Once I will execute again, I will be showing you how you can see the agents. Now let us see the container. Definitely there is wrong with some container elements. Let us see why the data was not passed from the workflow. You can see here in workflow we are having this particular value, so we have ensured that okay, value is present. Now coming to this particular step, let us see. Here we didn't require the value in this particular task, but yes, we have binded this value in save sales sort. So you can see here sales order number is there. Fine. Now I will see the binding in the method. So let us move on to the workflow. Yes, Rajesh?
The ID which you have showed now in the log,
Yes.
which is related to the task ID which you have created.
Yeah, that work item
it would be
ID.
the same, same task ID, I guess.
You are asking about work item ID?
Yeah.
That work item ID, it will unique, it will be generated by the system, and whenever this tasks get executed at runtime, it actually gives you the work item ID. So each time you execute it, you will be getting new work item ID.
But it is not related to the task number, no?
No, this task number is nowhere associated, but yes, for this task only the work item ID is getting generated. So the task number will be same, but the work item ID will be different for each execution.
For each execution it will be a different number, and it will be generated in the background only.
No, it will be also generated for the dialog also, because you here in log for both dialog and work item, background, both it will be generated.
The T code would be SWI6, no?
SWIA, and this particular T code is only used to diagnose the workflow. You can see here in dialog step also we are having one work item ID 887, and in background also we are having 888. So for each step, for each type of work item ID, we will be having one for each task type we will be having one work item ID. Okay. So I was showing you how you can diagnose your workflow. So first you have to check whether the binding is done or not, because many times the binding get missed. So that's the reason the data don't get flow. You can just check the binding. This is where we were doing the binding from from workflow to the task. You can see here from workflow to the task the binding is correct. Now click on enter. So I have ensured that the flow of data is there. Now I will be seeing whether the flow was there from task to the method or not. You can see here the binding is missing. I have done the binding, but it may happen that the binding may miss. So you can see here nothing is there. Again you have to do the binding. So in throughout classes I will be showing you, if anything goes wrong I will be showing you how you can debug the workflow. So once you first here you will have to go into change mode. Okay, we are in change mode, so I will be doing the binding again. So I'm in change mode. I will click on this step. about that log I will be explaining in detail, because that log is actually helpful in diagnosing the whole workflow. I have moved on to the change and then click here on binding. So whenever something goes wrong or the data, you can see the data was not flowed. So in log I have seen the flow was there from workflow to task, but from task to the method actually it is not shown in the log. You will have to explicitly go to the workflow builder, and there you will have to see whether the data was flowed or not, because the method container is not shown in the workflow. Till only tasks container it is shown in workflow, that is in log IA. So for method container you will have to go to the SWDD, and there you will have to ensure that nothing has went wrong. Now what I will be doing, I will, after activating again, I will check the binding, because due to that default pop-up whichever is proposed by the system, due to that also sometimes the binding get missed. Again you move to this to ensure that the binding is correct. So first I will check from tasks, sorry, from workflow to the tasks. You can see it is there, fine. Now I will see from here, click on it to see the binding. I'm sorry, the network got disconnected. And for that, so now here we were discussing about the binding. We will be ensuring whether the binding is done or not. Yes, Rajesh?
No, actually I was checking that we were not present on that reason. So nothing was coming.
Actually I got disconnected for some time. Sorry for that. Now, are you able to see?
Yeah. No, but the page it is workflow training attended one presenter Lakshmi.
Okay.
This,
Okay. Let me see that. Now you can see.
No.
I think you can see.
Just a minute.
I think you can see now, because it is showing me that you can see the page. You
Yeah,
can see the logon screen,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Now I am able to see.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I am able to see the login screen.
Okay.
Previously, it was showing the
Okay, yeah, okay.
web page.
Because I got the I got disconnected, so that's it. Now you can see, right? Okay, so I'm just showing you again.
Yeah, yeah. Lakshmi, you would be providing the note. You would be providing the material also, no, for daily whatever we are doing.
Correct, correct. I will
So
be
that we
providing
can-
everything. Whatever we have discussed, I will be providing, because in class I can't go to like in deep, so I will be providing you all the material so that you can go through it and get more knowledge about it. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So coming to SWDD. So I was just checking the binding from method to the, sorry, from task to the method. So here, I hope you people have understood how this flow is done, how this binding is done, and what is the use of this container element. The main objective of today's class was to make you familiar with this container, because in future classes we will be using this container elements, and we will be taking help of it to perform the business logic. So I can ensure here that the binding is done. So now I will be executing the workflow. Just activate it again. Now execute it. Now once I provide the sales order number, once I click on execute, I will go to business workplace. And in inbox, in workflow tab, you can see here one work item has got displayed over here. Kindly approve. Once I click on it and approve, the data should get saved in the database. Also, if you want, you can debug that particular method standalone, so that you can ensure that the data will definitely get saved in the database. So throughout the classes, I will be showing you how you can debug the workflow. So the work item has got disappeared from the inbox of the user. Now I will move on to the database. You can see here the data has got saved in the database. So what was the purpose here? The purpose to flow the data from workflow to the tasks, from tasks to the method, and I have performed some business logic inside the method, and the purpose was to save the data in the database. So I have just taken the number from the workflow and I have saved in the database. This is how you can interact with the database or business backend system. So any doubt till this? Yes, Venkat.
Lakshmi, can you just go to SWDD?
Okay. What is that?
It is so complicated.
Yeah.
Actually, I just want to know, you will be having one, some generate button is there. When we will be using
Where?
that one, like a task to method and workflow. If you click
In
on
this
the
particular
task,
step or this particular step? Which step you want to move?
any one of them. Any one of them. I just want to know the generate button will be there. Na? Either workflow to task or task to workflow. Like when you are doing that binding.
Binding.
Go to the task step. Task to the method.
Okay, okay. I have clicked
No,
this.
yeah, that one, that generate step. Okay, no problem.
Which step are you talking about?
That ball one, like,
Which one? Just tell me the tab.
yeah, like after syntax, like you will be. No, after syntax, like you can see there. Now. Yeah, here also you can see prior to that binding one, you will be having one red and.
Yeah, this
white
one,
like,
generate.
that one, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
this is actually defining or generating the binding by default. If you don't want to do the binding manually, then you can just click on this. The binding will be done automatically outside only, and it will actually be done by comparing the type. If type is same, then it will just bind it automatically. Let me show you again.
Okay. So if you are doing manually.
If you're doing manually, it is actually
manually,
recommended that you should do manually, because sometimes it may happen that the type is matching but you don't want that particular data to be flowed. It may happen, no?
Okay.
We generate it.
No, my query is if you do manually, no need to click on that one.
No need to click on that one. You can see I'm just you can see I'm just deselecting it. Now once I click on generate, this is what we were having in outside also. You can see it has got automatically populated, right? Actually it compares the type and it actually do the binding.
Okay, thank you. And one more query, like every time do we need to select both import and export parameters?
No, it depends upon, no.
While selecting here both.
Right, why we are selecting, see here. We are selecting because you can see here, we are just passing the data from the workflow to the tasks in this binding. Fine. So if I don't select export in the workflow, then the data won't, that particular element won't be present in the workflow container, because the data cannot be exported. So you won't be able to find the sales order element over here. So because we are exporting the sales order to this particular tax container, and in tax we are having one importing parameter. So I have made it as the reason it is available over here, and then we are doing the binding. So now why I have selected this as export also, because in task here you can see if that particular sales order is not selected as export, then you cannot export the sales order number from task to the method. Got my point?
Okay.
Since I have made it as export, that's the reason the value is exported to the importing parameter of the method. So it is just what we have in function modules, importing and exporting. So it depends upon the requirement. If you don't want to export the value, then you don't have to select it. But if you want, then you can select it.
So from here, from task to method, we can only select export parameter, I guess.
Right.
From task to method.
But in case if you don't select that particular sales order as import, then how you will flow the data from workflow to the task? Because the task is actually importing the data from the workflow, isn't it?
Okay.
So we have to select it as both import and export.
Yeah, that's what, like from workflow to task, both import and export should be selected. From task to method, only export is needed.
But the tasks, the element which you are defined in the task, it should be both import and export.
Why?
Because you can see in tasks we were having both import and export. That's the reason from workflow to the tasks we are actually exporting the data. So in tasks we are actually importing the data from workflow, and from tasks to the method, whenever we are doing the binding, we are actually exporting the data from tasks to the method. So that particular element was selected as both import and export. Got my point? So in whatever element you define in tasks, it should be export and import both.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Any other question? Any questions in this particular flow? Yes, Hitesh?
Yeah, Lakshmi, you have created in this scenario, you have created two elements, right?
Right.
One is for the workflow container, and another is for task, right?
Yeah.
Two different elements, right?
It is not.
Each.
It is different, but one was created in workflow container and one was created in task container. So both are explicit. Means they are not like if I have created in workflow, it is not like that. That particular would be available in tasks also. So you have to create it explicitly in both.
Right. Okay. That's what I want to just confirm, make sure.
It is not same. And so if you have created in workflow, it is not that you will be can use it in tasks also. You have to create it explicitly.
Basically, they are the two.
Because you can see that.
Levels.
Right, correct.
Okay.
Yes, Praveen.
Hello, yeah, I am not asking for particular session, but generally asking. I have the SAP system installed and Scott and everything configured.
Mm-hmm.
So for workflow, I have to configure something special, or is it fine? Or
That configuration part, no. Scott is like if you want to send some mails to different system, to different mail IDs, then you need to do the Scott. But for workflow, you need to do some configuration in SW3, which I would be showing in the last class. But for you, I'm just telling you what you have to ensure. You have to ensure that some of the items should be in green checked. Then only that particular workflow will execute. You need to ensure this configure RFC destination should be green checked. You have to ensure this workflow system administrator should be in green checked. Then this plan version should be green. These 4 to 5 items should be in green, and the rest, these particular things should be in green, and others are not required. But yes, these things should be in green. This RFC, workflow system administrator, plan version, these should be in green. So about this I will be discussing in later classes. In the last previous class.
okay.
In SW3 you can check that. Yes, Rajesh.
I wanted to ask the container we are creating.
Mm-hmm.
So the container would be for any workflow we have to create one container would be there mandatory, or we can create n number of containers.
We can create n number of containers upon the requirement. We can create n number. Even we can create n number of containers in task itself. In method, as we know, we can create any number of exporting, importing parameters. So it is same.
Okay. So for mandatory we have to create one number of container. For
if you want to make that element as mandatory, then you can check that mandatory field. Then that particular value should be passed from, if you're making it as in the task, then that value should be passed from workflow. And if you're making it in workflow, then that particular value should be passed from the program. So if you don't pass that particular value in the program or from the workflow, then that workflow, whenever get executed, it will go into error state.
Okay.
Ramana, actually about this agent assignment, this is particular very big topic. I will be discussing in after 5 classes or 4 classes. So in agent assignment, I will be discussing everything, the org structure, the rule, the role, how to do that, how to fetch dynamically from the backend. I will be discussing. So any more question? Yes, Hitesh?
Yeah, Lakshmi, I don't have a question, but at the, can you show us the keep the transaction on where it says like right now it says D and 0, then 2 and 800. Can you see?
Yeah.
Click on that and select the transaction. No, yeah, click on transaction. Yeah, that's it. So next time when you run the transaction, you know what transaction.
Okay, from
So,
here it's not
yeah,
visible, no? Right, it is too small, I think.
Sometimes we are in the
okay.
track. Yeah,
Okay,
we're
okay.
losing the track. So,
Okay.
so
So
you
here
know
you
what
can
transaction you're running.
this about this transaction T codes I will be providing in last class, like every transaction, each and every transaction, whichever we would have discussed in throughout classes, so that once you know actually what the transaction do, then only by seeing only you can just recognize, okay, we have discussed this transaction, so we know what it actually do.
Yeah, sometimes we miss the link and we
Okay.
don't know mention, but this
Okay.
will keep us on the track. And another thing is like sometimes our screen doesn't get refreshed very immediately. You speak and after a few minutes we get that screen.
Okay, I will check
So
that.
maybe for the internet connection is
Yeah,
slow,
correct.
whatever it may be. You
Okay.
can go little bit slow, then you'll know where you are clicking. Because I missed
Right.
some
Okay,
clicks. I
that-
was not sure where you are clicking.
Okay, Hitesh, I will take care of that.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Rajesh.
I didn't click the thing.
Oh, okay. You have not dropped the hands. Oh, okay. Fine. So any more questions on this? So about this container and bindings, now you are clear about it, because I will be using these containers in future classes. So I will be taking help of these containers, and whatever business logic I will be doing there. So there in workflow task, as I have shown you about this task. So what are the type of task and how this task ID gets generated? You can see this task ID is generated automatically by the system. This 979 is configured in SWU3, as I was discussing about, as I have shown you the transaction SWU3, and there this 3-digit number is configured, and the rest 5 digits get generated automatically, and this TS actually refer to the standard tasks. So we are having 2 different type of tasks. One is called customer based task and one is standard tasks. So this particular WS and this TS, this referred to this WS referred to the workflow template, and this TS actually to the standard task. So in more detail I will be discussing tomorrow. I will be discussing about PFTC transaction, where we can actually create the task. Either you can create the task in SWDD transaction, or you can take the help of PFTC transaction, where we can actually perform the action on the task explicitly. If I want to delete some task, I can go to the transaction PFTC_DEL. If I want to copy some task from one task to the another, then I can take the help of PFTC_COP. So there are a number of transactions for this particular task. So I will be discussing tomorrow. So I'm just giving you, showing you the screen. So here you can see the task type. So I will be discussing this task type and how to create or how to delete. This creation, you can either perform it in PFTC transaction, or also you can do it in workflow builder. So actually I personally do it in workflow builder only. So I'm just making you familiar with this transaction, so that once you see those transactions, you can get to know that what it actually do. So about this task, what are the type of tasks, I will be discussing tomorrow. Also I will be discussing about one transaction called SWXV. That particular transaction is actually used to create the leave application. So that leave application transaction is provided by the SAP itself. It is a demo transaction. Through that transaction, I just want to make you familiar with one workflow, the whole process, so that once I develop one workflow, you can get to know that how this flow actually works. So that transaction also be discussing tomorrow. So rest we will be completing about this task and the container and bindings by tomorrow. So any questions till whatever we have discussed today? Any questions on that? Fine, then see you guys at 7 a.m.